Et lumnu uwa isgaz wasm yabanas gav. Et nua isgaz wasm yavanas gav. Et nu 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 Et nu isgaz wasm yavanas gav. 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 And so we have passed the point of the cross quarter between the spring equinox and the winter and the summer solstice are on the other side of the world. The fall equinox and the winter solstice. 11:58 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Sunday, May 5th, 2019. And I did not write down the seconds, but we have in the meme that is to appear the sign of fire. And within the sign of fire is the sign of sulfur. And in that is the word little darkness. And I have found another graven image to remove from this building. And I will take that little cat from the room in which it is and place it outside with the others. Wealth, illness, deity, middle, joy, age, royalty, caution, warmth, tests, betrayal, loss, wisdom, visible are the themes that can be attached to yellow. And in blue, we have in Artemia, the older text, Malakah, Malakim, light being, light beings. And I wonder if when we see, as I had shown in my last spring equinox ritual, it was supposed to represent 88 times. Now, did the tradition come from the fact that in Al-Quran you have 88 mentions of the Malaika, the unfallen angels? So let me ask you 3 questions. The solar question is, after the first day, that's fully in this bright quarter of the year, what pattern is emerging from your spiritual path to date? The lunar question, because sunset starts Ramadan, and the chant with Elam, Nuwa Uwa Izguz wasm Ivan Izgov, because there was a doubt whether it was going to be 29 or 30 days, but it's going to be Ramadan that starts the thing. So the first of the lunar month gives us the question, the support of friendship. And the night before the day, we are entering into the day of the week of moon. And we have the radiance of the summer, keeper of the flame, breast of beauty, lap of peace, arms of desire, shallow sleep, shrine of the month, emotional love, light of intentions, life of being, heavenly song, everlasting power, cauldron of creation, sacred silence, outside the mundane, nature sacredly celebrated, presence of the holy ones. And before I go into some general things for the theme, this book should not have been on top, but the Shemhem Forage, the seals, the first 2 are fixed. The first 2 and the last 4 are fixed water. And then you have 6 for Pisces. And then you have Aries. And then you have Taurus being a fixed fire. Then you have Gemini and Cancer and Leo being fixed earth. Virgo Libra, Scorpio being fixed air, Sagittarius, and Capricorn being cardinal fire. And you color them accordingly. So this would be filled out. And so we start with Yachadevya. Well, these are each a psalm verse except for ones from the book of Genesis. Yachadiyalya, perform thy miracles upon us, for we have hoped in thee. Yachadiladya, the Lord liveth, blessed is my God, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. Yachadi, why hast why hast thou departed, O Lord, so long from us, perishing in the times of tribulation? Yachadi Azal. Rejoice in the Lord, all ye lands, sing, exult, and play upon a stringed instrument. Yachadi Membahal. The Lord is the refuge and my Lord and my God, the help of my hope. Yachadi Harial. The Lord is a refuge for me and my God, the help of my hope. Yachadi Hakamia. O Lord God of my salvation, by day have I called to thee and sought thy presence by night. Yachadi Levia. O Lord, our Lord, how wonderful is thy name in all the world. Yechari Kalial. Judge me, O Lord, according to thy loving kindness, and let not them be joyful over me, O Lord. Yechari Lavia. I waited in hope for the Lord, and he turned to me. Yechari Pahalia. I shall call upon the name of the Lord, O Lord, free my soul, yet thee no call. In thee also have I hoped, O Lord, and said, thou art my God, yet thee the Lord keep me, and the Lord be thy protection, O thy right hand, yet thee malahel. The Lord keep thine incoming and thine outgoings from this time forth forevermore. Yechari ha. The Lord is well pleased with those that fear him and hope upon his mercy. Yechari ha. I have called upon thee with all my heart, and shall tell forth all thy wonders. I shall acknowledge thee, O Lord, with all my heart. Hear me, O Lord, and I shall seek my justification. Save me, O Lord, from the evil man, and deliver me from the wicked doer. Let not God depart from me. Look to my help, O God. Behold, God is my helper, and the Lord is the guardian of my soul. For thou art my strength, O Lord, thou art my hope from my youth. Yechadilekambal. I shall enter into the power of the Lord my God. I shall be mindful of thy justice only. Yechadishurya. For the word of the Lord is upright, and all his works faithful. Yechadiyahawaya. The Lord knows the thoughts of men, for they are in vain. Yet let Israel hope in the Lord from this time forth and forevermore. Yechidi Chawakia. I am joyful for the Lord. Here's the voice of my prayer. Yechidi Mandal. I have delighted in the beauty of thy house, O Lord, and in the place of the habitation of thy glory. Yechidi Eniel. O Lord God, turn thy power towards us and show us thy face, and we shall be saved. Yachdihamya Chamya, for thou art my hope, O Lord, and thou hast been my deepest refuge. Yashirahau, the Lord has heard me and pitied me, and the Lord is my helper. Yachidiyahazal. Why drivest thou away my soul, O Lord, and turnest thy face from me? Yashri ha ha ha. O Lord, deliver my soul from wicked lips and the deceitful tongue. Yashri mi call. The Lord protects thee from all evil and will protect thy soul. Yechdi Wawaya. I have cried unto thee, O Lord, and let my prayer come unto thee. Yechdi Ya. Make my wishes pleasing unto thee, O Lord, and teach me thy judgments. Yechdi If I say my foot is moved, thou wilt help me of thy mercy. Yachidiyariel. The Lord is pleasant to all the world, and his mercies are over all his works. Yachidiyasaliya. How wonderful are thy works, O Lord, and how deep thy thoughts. Yachidiyakal. The Lord hath made thy salvation known in the sight of the peoples, and will reveal his justice. Yachdivaha. Great is the Lord, and worthy to be praised, and there is no end to his greatness. Yachidanyal. The Lord is pitiful and merciful, long-suffering, and of great goodness. Yachdi. Ahasya. Let the Lord be in glory forever, and the Lord will rejoice in all his works. Yachdiyamamya. I shall make known the Lord according to his justice, and sing hymns to the name of the Lord, the greatest. Yachinanal. I have known thee, O Lord, for thy judgments are just, and in thy truth have I abased myself. Yechdi Nithal. The Lord hath prepared his seat in heaven, and his rule shall be over all. Yechdi Membahya. Thou remainest forever, O Lord, and thy memorial is from generation to generation. Yechdi Palyal. The Lord raised up all who fall, and setteth up the broken. Yechdi Nemamya. They who fear the Lord have hoped in the Lord. He is their helper and their protector. Yachidiyalal. My soul is greatly troubled, but thou, O Lord, hear also. Yachidiyarahel. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, the word of the Lord is worthy to be praised. Yechdi Mitzral. The Lord is just in all his ways and blessed in all his works. Yechdi Gimbal. Let the name of the Lord be blessed from this time evermore. Yechdi Yahal. See, O Lord, how I am delighted in thy commandments according to thy life-giving mercy. Yesterday Annabiel. Serve ye the Lord with gladness and enter into his sight with exultation. Yesterday Mehekiel. Behold, the eyes of the Lord are open upon those that fear him and hope in his loving kindness. Yesterday Dammabiah. Return, O Lord, even here also, and be pleased with thy servants. Yetchedem, neither leave me, Lord, nor depart from me. Yetchedem, delight in the Lord, and he will give thee petitions of thy heart. Yetchedeh, confess to the Lord, for he is God, and his mercy is forever. Yetchedeh, the Lord is my inheritance and my cup, and it is thou who restorest mine inheritance. Yetchedeh, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Yet today, I shall confess to the Lord with my mouth and praise him in the midst of the multitude. Yet today, return to thy rest, my soul, for the Lord doeth thee good. Yet today, oh, thou, O Lord, my guardian, and exaltest my head. Do not remove thy help from me, O Lord, and look to my defense. I shall say to the Lord, thou art my guardian, my Lord is my refuge, and I shall hope in him. Turn, O Lord, and deliver my soul, and save me for thy mercy's sake. Let him who lives in Zion sing to the Lord, and proclaim his goodwill among the peoples. The Lord is merciful and compassionate, long-suffering, and of great goodness. I called upon the Lord, and he heard me and delivered me from all my tribulations. Kahatal. Oh, come and let us adore and fall down before God who bore us. Haziel. Remember thy mercies, O Lord, and thy mercies which have been forever. And so let's see some themes that come up. Well, first let's look at the animals. We have the magpies, we have the weasel, we have the squirrel, the chickmunk, the coyote, the rabbit, the hare, the wolf, and we have, well, let's break again to see what some of these meanings are. Wahawiyah, cry unto God. Yalei all, thankful of God. Sifyah, roaming of God. Alamyah, vigor of God. Machashal, oh, Mahashal, pledge of God. Lalahya, that which is not of God. Aka, all, weary of God. Kahatal, worry of praising God as a result of praise. I don't know. Hezial, sing of God. Alya is the strife of God. Lauya, desires of God. Hahya, word of God. Yezel, deliverer of God. Mabahal, oh, I can't see that. Decantantus. Okay. Some of the possessing of God. So something that's blemished. It's not saying God is blemished when we get to the blemish of God. But anyways, they all have meanings. I've talked about that elsewhere. I don't want to make this too boring. But say, okay, we have confidence, impulsive, biographies, spiritual community, adolescence, scriptures as songs, physicality, marriage, sexuality, goals are in the intention, maiden of flowers, smith of souls, conflagration, descent and descent and ascent to be whole, camel of travel, relate the sayings, environmentalism, dance, inspiration and revelation, and let's start with the more important part here. Which is the verses that would connect to this. You see that symbol there? Doesn't it look like some guy is fighting off like a snake or a bat or something for an umbrella? That's really what the word looks like. So the angels. I'll say the verse and I'll say something in way of an explanation. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً قَالُوا أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ قَالَ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. The question was, if the light beings are going to be perfect servants, why create these beings of choice, incarnate in human bodies that are going to work out physical evil in these human bodies? But God knows what they don't know because they're only programmed and they don't have a choice. So what is the glory in being worshipped by something that one does not have a choice to do otherwise? Two 31. وَلَمَّا دَامَ الْأَسْمَاءُ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ رَدَّهُمْ عَلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ فَقَالَ أَنبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Now, when humanity was perfect, humanity could witness under the spiritual realms and speak about them as a whole, because God gave them that ability. 234. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. So we see a difference in the devil, who had a choice and used that choice. Two 98. Man kana duwalallahi wa malaikatihi wa rusulihi wa jibrila wa mikala kana laha duwalal kafirin. How can one be an enemy to that which is obedient to God? Those beings who have no capability to do anything but to obey God, and not be an enemy to God at the same time. Two 161. Now there are other verses that mention the Mala'ika, but here's the ones that are explicit using the term. Inna ladina kafaru wa matu wa hum kufarun ulaika alayhim la'natullahi wal malaikati wan nasi ajmain. And see the light beings, when they come to, when they realize what you are at the end, if you didn't do well, of course they're going to be cursing you and your legacy rather than supporting it. 177. Laysal birran tuwalu juhakum qibalal mashriqi wal maghribi walakinna birra man amanna billahi wal yawmil akhir wa malaikati wal kitabi wan nabiyina wa talmala ubayi ذوي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل والسائلين وفي الرقاب وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة والموفون بعهدهم إذا عاهدوا والصابرين في البأساء والضراء وحين البأس أولئك الذين صدقوا وأولئك هم المتقون. And it would become obvious that if the light beings play certain spiritual roles, like bringing the messages, how can we believe in the prophets and the messages that they received through light beings without believing in light beings? 210. هل ينظرون إلا أن يأتيهم الله في ظلال من الغمام والملائكة malaikatu aqude alamru walalai terjaur. And people want to know. They want to know these lightnings. But sometimes there are ones that come with the punishment. And why would you want to know your end instead of doing your best with what you have left? 248. وقال لهم نبيهم إن آيات ملكه يأتيكم تابوت فيهم سكينة من ربكم وبقية مما ترك موسى وهارون تحمله الملائكة إن في ذلك لآيات لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. And the presence, sometimes with sacred objects and sacred places, there's a particular presence and a particular action going on with these beyond gender unseen beings. 285. Amana Rasul bima unzila alayhi mirabahi wal mu'minuna kuluna manna billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi la nufariqu baina ahadin min rusulihi wa qalu sami'na وَأَطَعْنَا غُفْرَانَكَ رَبَّنَا وَإِلَيْكَ الْمَصِيرُ. And while they're not believing in the angels, I guess it's the point for another time. Let's see. God, angels, scriptures, messengers, no distinction, nor discrimination. And the end time. No, the return to God. So 7 pillars of faith, we can say. And Surah 3:18. Shahid Allahu annahu la ilaha illahu wal malaikatu wa ulul ilmi qa'iman bil qist. La ilaha illahu wal azizul hakim. And one of the purposes of the light beings is to witness under the mere existence and essence of God. 3:39. Fanadatu malaikatu wa huwa qa'imun yusalli fil mihrab anna Allaha yubashiruka Yamusande Kabe Kalimate Minalahi Wasayaram Wahasuran Wanabiyan Minal Salihin. And sometimes there are people who have the experience of the light beings that come to them in the very middle of their prayers to communicate with them. But that's not saying they interrupt the obliged prayers to communicate with these things that they witness, or even such rituals. Hey, I'm getting full volume. I don't know why I usually am down a couple notches, but maybe that means the signal is pretty good right now. Okay, let me not be distracted by 342. وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاكِ وَطَهَّرَكِ وَاصْطَفَاكِ عَلَى نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ. And so the light beings, just as you could say about a few other individuals in humanity, were specifically told that this is the most favored woman of all time, Mary, Mother of Jesus. I mean, of the time, and of all the worlds right now, you're the most favored. 345. إذ قالت الملائكة يا مريم إن الله يبشرك بكلمة منه اسمه المسيح عيسى ابن مريم وجيها في الدنيا والآخرة ومن المقربين. And a living word to be born to a woman is great, is very great of a sign for her to receive. But, as we know, it's like the means aren't there yet, so what's going on? But sometimes it's best that people receive the prophecy before it goes down. Before it is going to occur, before it seems like it's going to occur. وَلَا يَأْمُرَكُمْ أَنْ تَتَّخِذُوا الْمَلَائِكَةَ وَالنَّبِيِّينَ أَرْبَابًا يَأْمُرُكُم بِالْكُفْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ أَنْتُمْ مسلمون. It only says Muslim once. So obviously, just like the prophets, these light beings, even more so, because their eternal character and their complete flawlessness in being, that doesn't make them gods. They never asked to be treated that way. 387. أولئك جزاؤهم أن عليهم لعنة الله والملائكة والناس أجمعين. And especially cursed are the apostates And this is something that happens. Apostates, not as they never had faith to begin with, so they left. And no, I'm talking about people who had faith and left. But again, there's no punishment for that, as we have seen in material that I've scheduled to go live. And 124. In takululumumenina walayagfiakum anyumendakum rambukum bethalathatealatin minal malaikate munzalin. And the unseen support is a very helpful thing. And God can provide numbers like not seen before, unimaginable numbers. And look at what, if we look at some of these texts, there's references to demons having legions and stuff too, but there's that sort of thing going on with the light beings too. And the numbers are so much greater. Look at you can say there are 92 light beings in the Enochian tablets, and their ministers are in the thousands specifically. And you compare this to the Goetian, I believe there's more ministers there, and that's just talking one sort of thing, and there's it's said that there's at least twice as many light beings as there are the fire beings. 325. Wamaja balahu ella bushra lakum waletatmanna qulubukum bihi wamanasru illa min indallahil azizil hakim. Oh, that was the wrong one. 325. Balantas beruatatahu wayatukum min fawrehim hadha yumdenkum rabukum biqamsate alafin minal malaikate musawimin. And just as 3,000 angels could be there to start with, 5,000 more to come in, to be on your side when you're being attacked for what's right. 497. And we notice after we get this past the so-called address to the Jews and the address to the Christians, which of course these things are more than that, we run into more, a lesser frequency. Inna ladina tawafahum malaikatu ظالمي أنفسهم قال فيما كنتم قالوا كنا مستضعفين في الأرض قالوا ولم تكن أرض الله واسعة فتهاجروا فيها فأولئك معهم جهنم وساءت مصير. And here we have the first mention of the angels of death. And They're going to question you. What were you doing? What type of person were you? What did you believe? And there's specific ways that is addressed, but I'm going to go through this quickly. This is a very long subject to address, and this is 4:136. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu aminu billahi wa rasulihi wal kitabilladhi nazzala ala rasulihi wal kitabilladhi anzala min qablu wa man yakfur billahi وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر فقد ضل ضلالا بعيدا. We have the revelation and the inspiration, the comparison that I've drawn earlier of the disbelief in that, disbelief in the scriptures, the actual scriptures, disbelief in the last day. You take away the light beings from that, a lot of that stuff goes. Of course, the belief is directly in God. God does what He wills. The light beings are machines of what's going on. 166 of Surah 4. لكن الله يشهد بما أنزل إليك أنزله بعلمه والملائكة يشهدون وكفى بالله شهيدا. And one of the reasons for the light beings, or one of their functions, is their witnesses to the spiritual occurrences with the human beings and the spiritual callings that the human beings have received. 4:172. ليستنكف المسيح ويكون عبدا لله والملائكة مقربون ومن يستنكف عن عبادته ويستكبر فسيحشركم إليه جميعا. And just as a true Messiah is pleased to be a servant of God, not proud enough to interfere it, so are beings with even greater long-lasting power. These light beings, Devis, Ahuras, Mandryaks, whatever you want to call these unfallen angels, they know their position is great. They don't need to try for anything else. 6:8. وقالوا لولا أنزل علي ملك ولو أنزلنا ملكا لقضي الأمر ثم لا ينظرون. And sometimes, to be gentle, just like talking about certain issues, for a human to act as a omnual, a messenger to and for the people, for God and heaven. Heaven being a metanomial, the new of the angels, and basically everything in the heavens, I guess God's included there too. Like you say government, you say Washington, and Washington, well, refers to a lot of things, not just, are the White House, and doesn't just refer to the president. But of course, with God, it's something a lot more than that. Well, that's not good. I've spilt something. But to say, oh, we want our doubt removed, then there's no choice. It's already decided. And verse 9 of Surah 6. Walau jalnahu malakan jalnahu rajulan walabasna lihim ma yalbesun. And when human beings do encounter the light beings, it's not in such a way that the choice is removed upon them. They still have to figure out what they're supposed to do. They're still supposed to make that choice. Alamun ghaiba wala qulu lakum minni malakun inna tabe'u illa ma yuhaliya qul hal yastawil ama wal basiru afala tatafakkarun. Just like the Buddha, he was asked, are you an angel? No, the prophets aren't angels. We don't become angels. Just like we don't become mermaids and a lot of other things people want to become. We're human beings. We're clay beings. We got to deal with it. And we're clay beings, and specific clay beings. We're not necessarily wolves or whatever people want to be. 695. Okay. Maybe it's 85. I'm going to hold on to this for a second, and I'm going to okay, I have 695, but that is not. Yeah, that's not showing anything. So 111. Walau anna nazalna lihim malaikata wa kallamahumul mauta wal hasharna lihim kulla shay'in qubulan ma kanu liyuminu illa iyashallahu walakinna aktharahum yajhalun. And speaking with the dead is spoken of in similar degree as that which is, speaking with the light beings. It's a similar degree of the unseen. It's something, you really don't choose. Um, oh, 93, 93, 693. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا أو قال أوحي إلي ولم يوحي إليهم شيء ومن قال سأنزل مثل ما أنزل الله ولو ترى إذ الظالمون في غمرات الموت والملائكة باسطوا أيديهم أخرجوا أنفسكم اليوم تجزون عذاب الهون بما كنتم تقولون غير الحق وكنتم عن آياته تستكبرون. So, if things aren't well for you, that's sort of how you're going to meet the light beings of death. They're going to stretch out for you, and they're going to be like, "Oh no, 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 I don't want you." But if you lived a good life, all this clinging and stuff is going to be off to the side. Six, 111. Walau anna nazalna liyamul malaikata wa kallamahum mauta wa hasharna liyam kulla shay'in qubulan ma kanu yu'minu illa yashalahu ولكن أكثرهم يجهلون. And certainly there'll come a time when things are ordered out. Whether there's a big crunch or how it's going to happen, 6, 158. هل ينظرون أن تأتيهم الملائكة أو يأتي ربك أو يأتي بعض آيات ربك يوم يأتي بعض آيات ربك لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا قل انتصروا إنا منتصرون. It's another way of expressing that a wicked generation seeketh after a sign. And 7, 11. قال ما منعك ألا تسجد إذ أمرتك قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. Oh, it's 11. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ صَوَّرْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ لَمْ يَكُنْ من الساجدين. And so the clay being, the prostration was to be made towards the clay being, which was the image that Allah had fashioned. So graven image, the sur, is, something that humans are not supposed to do. But the fire beings, they said no. Light beings, yeah, they took part. But it was their test. It wasn't in worship of Adam. It was as the form of the command. Verse 20. فَوَسْوَسَ لَهُمَا الشَّيْطَانُ لِيُبْدِيَ لَهُمَا مَا وَرِئَ عَنْهُمَا مِنْ سَوْآتِهِمَا وَقَالَ مَا نَهَاكُمَا رَبُّكُمَا عن هذه الشجرة إلا أن تكونا ملكين أو تكونا من الخالدين. And the idea of immortality, our being as the light beings, was the reason behind the temptation. And certainly some people who have been tempted have said this power of doing wickedness, because they said it's like, do you know what it's like to feel like a god? It's the line of a song. And that's the level of arrogance that some people take part in their disobedience with. 8, 9. إذ تستغيثون ربكم فاستجاب لكم أني ممدكم بألف من الملائكة مردفين. But before I go into this here, one of the important things that we should look at is that those who can choose to mess up and do right are even better than those who have no choice at all. But 8, 9. So people want God's help, and sometimes God says, here's 1,000 angels. But is everybody going to be aware of that? 8, 12. إذ يوحي ربك إلى الملائكة أني معكم فثبتوا الذين آمنوا سألقي في قلوب الذين كفروا الرعب rebu faupana tewan rebu nanhum kulabanan. So the taking, the light beings that join in the injury of the battlefield, the injury of the criminal, you can say, when the righteous person is facing them. Surah 47:4 also talks about the cutting of the fingertips and the neck and stuff. But the criminal, the dismembering of the criminal, that doesn't happen with the regular criminal. It just happens in the middle of a fight. 850. Walau tara yatawa faladina kafaru malakatu yandurebuna wujuhahum wanbarahum wadhuqul adhabal harik. From front and back, these people will be struck at. And how would you like to face the afterlife like that? And if we witnessed that, what would that do to us? How would we be affected in our actions if we knew what was going to happen? So we're born to believe before these consequences come to fruition. And 11:12. Falala katare kumbanda mayu halika wandaya besandrukanya kulula unzalalehe kanzun auja mahu malakum innamanta nadirun wallahu ala kulli shay'in wakil. And when the presence, just as the sign of wealth according to will, is the sign of the unseen presences, but the spiritual side, people receive what they're ready for, and what they're going to make the right decision of is going to make it worse if they don't see the spiritual presence. And they know the spiritual presence, but they don't deem it as a boon like unto receiving wealth. 11:31. Wala kulalakum minde qazayan nulahi wala lamu Baiba wala kulu inni wala kun wala kulu aladina tazdare ayunukum ayutiyakumullahu khairan Allahu alamu bima fi anfusihim minni la min al-zalimin. And likewise, we're not one of the unseen beings in terms of we're confined to this incarnated body. So therefore, we don't constantly witness the unseen. And we don't become angels because we're incarnate in physical bodies. 12:31. There's more to these verses than I'm saying, but Falamma sam'a bima krena arsalat aliyna watadat lahunna mutakawatat kulla wahidatin minhunna sakinan wa qalat ikhrujalina falamma ra'aynahu akbarnahu wa qatana aydiyahunna wa qulna hasya ما هذا بشرا إن هذا لملك كريم. And people even think, like, oh, it's an angel. The absurdness of the behavior of people who will regard a human being as an angel is something to look at and to consider. وَيُسَبِّحُ الرَّعْدُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ مِنْ خِيفَتِهِ وَيُرْسِلُ الصَّوَاعِقَ فَيُصِيبُ بِهَا مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَهُمْ يجادلون في الله وهو شديد المحال. And the forces of nature, along with light beings, make the song of praise, make the action of awe, the worship of God. 13:23. Jannatu adnin yanqulunaha wa man salaha min abaihim wa azwajihim wa dhurriyyatihim wal malaikatu yadkhuluna alayhim min kulli bab. Salamun alaikum bimma sabartum fatiha ma'ukma dari waladina yanqudunan ahdalai min ba'de mithaqeh wa yaqta'una ma amaralahu bihi ayusala yusiduna fil ardi ulaika lahum lanatu wa lahum su'ud dar. Oh, I read the wrong one. Jannatu adnin yankuluna wa man salaha min abaihim wa azwajihim wa dhurriyyatihim wa malaikatu yankulu alayhim min kulli bab. All good things, all good companions, the light beings, or as a connection to that theme. (15:7) لَوْمَ تَأْتِينَا بِالْمَلَائِكَةِ إِن كُنتُم مِّنَّا صَادِقِينَ. So the truth of bringing the light beings, how would they know if they're closed off to the spiritual realms? But they always ask for things to be their way. And the right way does not work like that. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي خَالِقٌ بَشَرًا مِّن صَلْصَالٍ مِّنْ حَمَإٍ مَّسْنُونٍ. And the light beings came to witness the creation of the humans. And the implication is the humans started out as black or dark and altered material, because certainly the material world itself is not life. 15:30. فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. And the light beings, when they were commanded to prostrate, they all did, in their own way, of their own curious forms, obviously. 16:2. يُنَزِّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةَ بِالرُّوحِ مِنْ أَمْرِهِ عَلَىٰ مَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ أَنْ أَنذِرُوا أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَٰهَ إِلَّا أَنَا وَاتَّقُونِ. The spirit of command. It can be said that the light beings are of the realm of command, the causal realm, as people would call it, or the acausal, however you're going to define that, but not acausal in terms of the jinn. And so 16:28. الَّذِينَ تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ ظَالِمِي أَنفُسِهِمْ فَقَالُوا سَلَامًا مَا كُنَّا نَعْمَلُ مِنْ سُوءٍ بَلَى إِنَّا عَلِيمٌ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. So those who are not in surrender now are going to be made to be in surrender by the light beings. 16. Okay, 16:28, 16:32. الَّذِينَ تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ طَيِّبِينَ وَيَقُولُونَ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ ادْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. But the light beings who visit the dead people, it's not all negative things. Some of it's extremely positive, and it's exactly what you want. It's just a presage of the eternal gardens to come. 33 of 16. Alyan Lorunalan Dariyam Malaikatu Auyati Amru Rabeka Kadalika Fala Ladina Min Qablihim Wama Zalamahum Walakin Kanu Anfusahum Yazlimun. And people delay, say, oh, it's going to happen. The light beings are going to do it. Some other people may say some Messiah is going to do it. Some Savior is going to come. They who don't do what they're supposed to do, hey, they're wronging themselves. It's not so much that a God would need them. And 16, 32, 33, 49. وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِن دَابَّةٍ وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ وَهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. And the reason why the light beings never deviate from rendering their submission is that they don't have pride. 1740. Afasfakum rabukum bilbanina wataqaba minnal malaikate innatan innakum la taquluna qawlan azima. Some people want to say that the light beings are female. The ancient Egyptians had that female glyph at the end of the light being term, so the people assumed that it was female, but there's something being expressed about it in that sense. That wasn't necessarily to say that it was female, but that's where people went. But we're not limiting the light beings to the genders of the other unseen beings, the jinn, and the humans incarnate in these bodies. We certainly can't limit them in the terms of limits of the physical world. 1761. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ قَالَ اسْجُدُوا لِمَنْ خَلَقْتَ طِينًا. And so we have three types of created beings. One incarnate in clay bodies, another fire beings, another light beings. And the fire beings said, yeah, I'm not doing obeisance to a being, towards a being that, even if it is your command, I'm not doing obeisance to some human. But it can be said that not all of them stayed in that state. 1792. Excuse my posture today. Autus kerta sama kamazam dalina kesaban autadia belahi wal malakate qabila. And the signs of Scripture aren't learned all at once. They come in various portions. And witnessing the light beings yourself, expecting that, demanding that, is such an extent. It's like, oh, show me the whole Scripture at once. Well, now we have it in a book. But, you know, think of what you're asking. 1795. Ulau kana fil arde malaikatu yamshuna mut manina lana zangalim manasamae malakarasu. So the earth angel thing. That's no. But if there were earth angels, they would have their own messenger angels to kind of put them on what they're supposed to be. 1850. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ فَتَتَّخِذُونَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِن دُونِهِمْ وَلَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ بِئْسَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ بَدَلًا. And the reason and the difference between the unfallen and the fallen angels, the jinn being the fallen angels, the malaika being the unfallen angels, is obviously the choice to rebel. Now, who are you going to pick as your friends? What side? Yechidi? Chedi? Or Chits? Which will be your response to God's side? Which will be your response to the other side? Yechidi, Chid, of course, being the term for union. Yud before being insert, and Yud after being going out. So being connected from both sides. Yechidi, the Aramaic, the Aramea word that I was using. Chutz being a wall of separation. 20, 116. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى. And those around the light beings, the smaller group of people, the smaller group of beings, obviously got the command too, but they didn't act as the larger group. And 21, 103. لا يحزنهم الفزع أكبر تتلقاهم الملائكة هذا يومكم الذي كنتم توعدون. And the same situation. If you've done your best, the supreme horror has nothing to do with you. And the greatness and the eternal witnessing of the light beings is there if you've done the best. But if you've done your worst, it's the horror and stuff. 2275. Allahu yastafi minal malaikati rusulan wa minal nasi innallaha samiyun basir. And only some of these light beings are called as messenger beings. Whether to reveal a book or inspire a message, or only some of them have this role. And God's witnessing the whole process. 22, 75, 23, 24. فَقَالَ الْمَلَأُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ قَوْمِهِ مَا هَذَا إِلَّا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُرِيدُ أَنْ يَتَفَضَّلَ عَلَيْكُمْ وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَيَنزَلَ مَلَائِكَةً مَا سمعنا بهذا في آبائنا الأولين. And to disbelieve in a prophet, an actual prophet of God, is tantamount to disbelieving as if it was an actual light being that showed up. The people who will disbelieve that, either one are going to disbelieve the other. So they weren't given that experience. So obviously that would have made things worse for them. 25:7. وَقَالُوا مَا لِهَذَا الرَّسُولِ يَأْكُلُ الطَّعَامَ وَيَمْشِي فِي الْأَسْوَاقِ لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ مَلَكٌ فَيَكُونَ مَعَهُ نَذِيرًا. And so people say, oh, well, see the limits of this being that we're being called to accept as a prophet. Why don't we have an angel? Well, the angels can't set examples like that because environmentalism, dance, relate the sayings, camera, travel, inspiration and revelation, descent and ascent to be whole. Okay, I've shared the themes of the season, haven't I? So 25:7. What comes after 25:7? 25:21. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْجُونَ لِقَاءَنَا لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْنَا الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَوْ نَرَىٰ رَبَّنَا لَقَدِ اسْتَكْبَرُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ وَأَتَوْا عُتُوًّا كَبِيرًا. And see that the arrogance of people who make it like they're the gods of the world. It's like, oh well, this thing says it's a god, huh? Let's see God. Let's see the light beings. Let them do what we want. They're practically treating themselves as God, much like those people who cast spells. It's spells in terms of can reach into the area where you draw a symbol and all this other stuff, and it's just fine working with symbols and stuff. But if you're saying that the symbol does it, that you do it, your will makes it happen, you're sort of treating yourself as the god of your universe. Things in life do come through you. But 25, 22. Yamaya Raunalmalakatala Bushrayamadan Ujremina Wayakuluna Hedran Mahjura. And say, if you've witnessed the beings that you've said that you want to see, if you witness unto them, it's not always what you would want. It's what you, and it's not good news. It hadn't happened because it wouldn't be good for you. 25. Wayamata shakaku samaubel kamamewanu zela malaikatu tanzila. And there'll come a day when it's made known to everyone, because the universe is being destroyed, or at least the skies are being destroyed. 32:11. Uyatawafakum malakum mauteladi ukelabekum Thamalarabekum turjaun. There is a greater angel of death, and it's, it's to be gathered. It's not to pluck, flop, but the thing is, so humanity can be gathered and sorted and really shown their deeds. To be removed from their idea of separation from God. Either to say, oh no, or to be on the right path. 33, 42. Oh, 43. Walaviu sale aleikum wa malaikatu yukrijakum manavolu ella nure wa kana bil mu'minina rahima. And as God blesses, as the light beings bless, we are brought from darkness into light. We bring forth light out of the darkness, in another way of saying. 33:56. Innala wa malaikatu yusalluna ala nabiyya ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. And we're being in a line with the light beings when we ask benedictions on the prophet. And I've heard my stomach rumble a few times here. I hope I did not disrupt with any of that 3440. Vayamaya shurukum jame andmaya ku el malaikate ulai iyakum kanu ya abudun. And see, the light beings, who are the witnesses, will ask if they were the ones being worshipped. And they'll also say if they played a role in this. Oh, were you part of this worshipping of you? Or the like of you? But most of what people are talking about is male and female beings, which are jinn. 35:1. Alhamdulillah fatir samawati wal ardi ja'ilil malaikati rusulan ulil ajnihatin mathna wa thulatha wa ruba yaziduni khalqi ma sha'a. And see, the light beings have wings. Of course, we have to think about it in their terms of their realm. 2 or 3 or 4 are added unto, however God wants. 37:150. Khalaqnal malaikata inathan wa hum shahidun. So when people gender these light beings, are they witnessing the fact that they're gendered? Are they the ones doing their creation? Or should you take what comes through the Creator? And I'm going to leave it at these verses about the light beings. But 38:71. إذ قال ربك للملائكة إني خالق بشرا من طين. And just as if, imagine so much more the shock if it had been the other way around and humans were told, this material nature you're created out of, we're going to create something out of something else. So such was the light beings when they were told, hey, there's going to be some clay beings about. And, see this universe we created. Wait a second. But in this realm, people can kill each other and things destroy each other. Humans are going to do that, aren't they? As we've seen before. 73. فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ. And so we have those lightnings prostrating. And see, I've come up here with other themes. Let me show different parts of the page. 39:75. وترى الملائكة حافين من حول العرش يسبحون بحمد ربهم وقضي بينهم بالحق وقيل الحمد لله رب العالمين. And the light beings of the throne. But look at what's been said about the footstool greater than the seven heavens and the earth, and the lowest of the heavens is as a ring with as the place with all these stars and such, and as a ring within the others, and in terms of its thrown into the desert in terms of its size with the next seven and so on. 41:14. إذ جاءتهم الرسول من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم لا تعبدوا إلا الله قالوا لو شاء ربنا لأنزل الملائكة فإنا بما أرسلتم به كافرون. So people say, why didn't God stop us? Well, if God stopped you from worshiping other than Him, He would have sent somebody, sent the lightnings to destroy you. But God gave you a chance. Gave people a chance. Obviously, there'd be some people that may watch this that were not involved in such practices in their life. 41:30. إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وابشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون. And if we worship aright, the presence of light beings is attracted. And it helps comfort us in ways that we may not guess. 42:5. Takadu samawatu yatapatarna min fawqina al-malakatu yusabihuna bihamdi rabbihim wa yastaghfiruna liman fil ardi ala inna Allahu huwal ghafurur rahim. And so great is the power of the worship of these light beings. And they asked our forgiveness, of course, because that's what God commanded them to do. Let's see. (43:19). وَجَعَلُوا الْمَلَائِكَةَ الَّذِينَ Rahman inna dhanna shahidu qalqahum saduktabu shahadatum wa yusalun. And it's not to it's not degrading to say, male, female. That's not the thing. It's that degrading these beings that are beyond gender to saying, oh, they have gender. They're servants of God. They're not these gendered, I'm not sure how I'm going to articulate that, but when you're making up distinctions, when you're making up attributes of spiritual beings, of prophets and stuff like that, you're going to be questioned about what you're doing. 43:53. And there goes Miss Jimmick again. There, فلولا أوتي عليه أسورة من ذهب أو جاء ملائكة مقترنين. And some people want the wealth that they can wear. Other people say, well, wealth that we can wear as we please, the presence of the angels, how we please. It goes along the same. And of course, gold being the color, of this 8th point of the year. Well, 5th in a way of thinking, but Samhain, Yule, Imuk, Ostera, Beltane. So 25. Oh, wait, not 25. 53 of 43. Oh, it said that. 60 of 43. Okay, I didn't see. Walau nasha'u laja'alna minkum malaikatan fil ardi yaklufun. And yeah, I could have went over all the linguistic things. I don't feel like it today. Well, I'm not up for it today. That's fun. And instead of humans being given the Khulafa, the vice regency, it could have been lightnings. But what would our role have been if we weren't stewards of the earth? If humanity wasn't stewards of the earth? 47:27. فكيف إذا توفاهم الملائكة يضربون وجوههم وأدبارهم. So question. Well, I guess the smitings of the backs could be why that these 88 references have been turned into 88 lashings of oneself. But how's that going to be when it's the lightnings? Maybe someone's hit you, maybe you hit yourself, whatever the deal is. It's not going to be the same. 53:26. وَكَمْ مِنْ مَلَكٍ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَتُغْنِي شَفَاعَتُهُمْ شَيْئًا إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ أَنْ يَأْذَنَ اللَّهُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَرْضَى. And so people worship these lightnings. They want intercession. But it's only, you know, God has beings pray for whom deserves it. So it's something totally different than what we may think. 53:27. إن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة يسألون ملائكة تسمية الأنثى. And it's a sign of disbelief that they gender these light beings. 66:4. Endaduban laiva padu sangat kurubukumawan tazahara lihe fanalahu wa mallahu wa jibrilu wa salihu umenina والملائكة بعد ذلك ظهيرا. Oh, that's not the right one. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس وحجارة عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. And see, the light beings go wherever they are to go. They're not these beings that so there are light beings in the hell. Oh, 66:6, 66:4. Entadu balai faqadu samban qulubukuma wanta zahara lihe fanalahu wa maulahu wa jibrila wa salihun المؤمنين والملائكة بعد ذلك ظاهرا. And so think, if you're on the host of the prophet, you're on the host of the light beings who minister with the prophet, the whole hierarchy of beings. And of course, you're on the side of God, because the prophets are the ones who teach us how to be on the side of God. 69:17. وَالْمَلَكُ عَلَى أَرْجَائِهَا وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ فَوْقَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ ثَمَانِيَةٌ. And 8 special light beings to bear the throne. Just as 19 over the hill. Maybe we go over that later. 74. Tarudu malaikatu warahuliye fi yamin kana miqdaruhu Sinal Alpha Sana. And think of that journey, the 50,000 year journey. And in another sense, there's other time periods for a journey, but that is sort of the end time journey. And this is the speed of the light beings. Some of them can travel faster than the speed of light. Or even travel faster than light, thousands, some of them, unimaginable speeds, almost light year by light year times, like sort of speeds. 7431. Maybe this is intended at some point to become paper, so it's not. Wamajalna sabana rilla malaikatan wamajalna idatam ilam vidnatan iladina kabaruyas taik benaladina udul gedabawayas Wayazadaladina manu imanan walayartaba ladina udugitaba walmumenuna waliyakulaladina vikulubim maradun walkafiruna Madaradalahu behava mathalan kavalika yudhilulahu mayashau wayahdemiyashau wamayalamu tununarabekala Wawama Allah Dhikral Bashar. And so these light beings, as we've seen before, the 19 as being a sign, and people understood that. One guy was like, "Oh, I'll take them on. I'll take them all on." Oh, well, you can have some of them. I'll take them up. But there are different roles in different places in the universes for the light beings. 7838. Yamaya Kumuruhu wal malaikatu safanaya takalamuna elamanadinalahu rahmanu wapala sawaba. And it's only humans that can go outside the command to speak, or they're not going to speak, to have their own doctrines, to have their own things. But see, the inspiration reaches people at a level which they can't reach unto. The light beings can't reach, because they can have the revelation to them and pass that on as is, but they can't pass on the content and be faithful to that and agree. Well, people can say they have the personality, but 8922. Wajarabuka wal malaku safan safa. The ranks and rows and orders, the perfect order of these beings, the perfect form of their command. And I'm going, this one last verse, 97. Tanazalu malaikatu waruhu fiha bidnerabahim min kulli amr. The night of power, very special night in Ramadan. which we're about to have the best 29 or 30 nights of the year. And the chant, being the Beltane night chant, which I will close with, being Ramadan this year. Lamnu is guz wasum yavanas guz. 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 And when I return from this room, the cloth will change from green to yellow